The difference between an engine that dies at 200,000 kilometers and one that surpasses 1 million is not always the brand of the car or luck. Many times, it comes down to what you do, or don't do, every time you change the oil. Because a poorly done oil change repeated over the years slowly wears the engine down, while a change done with technical care can extend its life far beyond what most people imagine. In this video, I'm going to reveal 10 secrets you must apply before and during an oil change if you truly want your engine to surpass 1 million kilometers. Stay until the end, because the last secret is what separates engines that fail before 200,000 from those that exceed 1 million without ever being opened. One of the most common mistakes, even among people who are disciplined about maintenance, is draining the oil when the engine is completely cold, thinking that it is safer or more correct, when in reality they are leaving inside the engine a significant portion of the contaminants they are trying to eliminate. Oil does not only lubricate, it also carries microscopic combustion residues, nearly imperceptible metal particles, and carbon deposits generated every time the engine operates. When the engine is cold, that oil is denser, thicker, and flows much less freely. This means many of those particles remain adhered to internal passages, crankcase walls, and corners where the draining process does not remove them properly. When the oil is hot, its viscosity decreases and its ability to flow improves considerably, allowing it to drain more easily along with the greatest possible amount of suspended contaminants. If you drain the oil cold, what you are really doing is removing the most accessible fluid, but not necessarily the most contaminated, leaving behind a dirty residual film that will immediately mix with the new oil, reducing from the very first second the purity and lubricating capacity of the replacement. In addition, a cold drain prevents the oil from having the opportunity to keep certain contaminants in suspension, which, after the engine has been off for hours, begin to partially settle. This means that part of the heavier material does not even leave the engine during the oil change, because it was not actively circulating at the moment of draining. This is where most people become overconfident. You go to the store, check the manual, see something like 5W30, buy an oil that says 5W30 in big letters on the front of the bottle, and leave convinced you did the right thing. The problem is that viscosity is only part of the story, and often not even the most important part when we're talking about extreme durability. The big number on the front sells the product, but what truly protects your engine is in the technical specifications that almost no one checks. Updated API standards, ACEA certifications, specific manufacturer approvals, and internal requirements that determine the additive package, thermal stability, and resistance to shear under extreme pressure. Two oils with the same viscosity can behave completely differently after the engine has been running under load on the highway for 20 minutes. If you use an oil that meets the viscosity grade but not the exact specification your engine requires, you could be reducing protection in critical areas such as the crankshaft bearings, camshaft journals, or even the variable valve timing system if your engine has one. In addition, many modern engines operate with much tighter internal tolerances than those from 20 years ago, which means the actual thickness of the lubricating film is critical. An oil that loses stability with temperature or degrades more quickly under stress will not maintain that protective film as effectively. And when that film fails, even for fractions of a second, metal-to-metal contact begins to accumulate micro-wear that you will never be able to reverse. If you want to learn everything about your engine oil, I'll leave this video here. One of the most costly mistakes you can make is believing that the oil change interval listed in the manual applies exactly the same to every driver, in every city, and under any usage condition. Those numbers are calculated under ideal parameters that rarely match the daily reality of most vehicles. When a manufacturer states that the oil should be changed every 10,000 or even 15,000 kilometers, that figure is based on controlled tests where the engine operates at stable temperature, with long trips, no extreme traffic, no constant cold starts, and no excessive environmental contamination. Now think about how you actually use your car. Short trips where the engine barely reaches optimal temperature, heavy traffic where it spends more time idling than moving, constant acceleration, dusty environments, and fuel that is not always of the highest quality. Every cold start generates a small amount of fuel dilution in the oil, because during the first few seconds the mixture is richer and some of that fuel can seep into the crankcase. If you make short trips every day, that dilution does not fully evaporate, degrading the oil's actual viscosity long before you reach the official change interval. The same happens with internal moisture, which can lead to acid formation and accelerate lubricant oxidation. Furthermore, severe conditions are not exclusive to heavy-duty or extreme-use vehicles. Driving in the city with constant traffic is already considered severe service, and that includes most drivers. You can buy the best oil on the market, with the exact viscosity, the correct specification, and the most advanced additive package available. But if the filter you install is not up to the task, all that effort is diluted within minutes. The filter is not a secondary accessory. It is the true guardian of what circulates through the heart of the engine. Oil is designed to keep particles suspended and carry them to the filter. But if the filtering element has low holding capacity or poor internal construction, many of those microscopic particles return to the circuit and pass again through the bearings, camshaft, and piston rings as if they had never been captured. We are talking about nearly imperceptible metallic residues, carbon particles, and contaminants that act as microscopic abrasives, slowly eroding surfaces that depend on a clean oil film to survive. One of the most critical components inside the filter is the bypass valve. This valve exists to allow oil to flow when the filter is clogged or when pressure is too high during a cold start, preventing the engine from being left without lubrication. The problem is that in low-quality filters, this valve may open prematurely or fail to seal properly, meaning oil circulates unfiltered even when it should not. That turns a protection system into a mere formality with no real effect. There is also the internal structure of the filter, because not all of them use the same type of filtering media or the same amount of material. If you want to learn everything in depth about the oil filter, I'll leave a video in the description. Most people believe that changing the oil is simply a matter of draining and refilling, and when it's time to close the system, they tighten the drain plug and the filter using the most common logic in the world. Make it nice and tight so it won't leak. The problem is that in mechanics, tight does not mean correct, and over-tightening or under-tightening can lead to consequences that are not immediately visible but directly affect the engine's health. When the drain plug is over-tightened, the threads begin to deform slowly, especially if the oil pan is made of aluminum, as in many modern vehicles. That deformation can cause the seal to become uneven, creating nearly imperceptible microleaks. You may not see a large stain on the ground, but you can lose small amounts of oil over thousands of kilometers, gradually lowering the level without noticing and exposing the engine to moments of insufficient lubrication. On the other hand, if the plug is left too loose, the risk is even more obvious, because constant vibration can progressively loosen it until it causes a significant leak. It's not common, but when it happens, the result is often catastrophic. Something similar happens with the filter. Many people tighten it with a tool until it will not turn any further, when in reality most manufacturers specify hand tightening it until the gasket makes contact and then giving it a small additional turn. If it is tightened too much, the gasket can deform or become damaged, making proper sealing more difficult and complicating the next oil change. If it is left too loose, there may be pressure loss or leaks. There is a widespread belief that as long as the oil level is within the dipstick range, everything is fine, and that even if it sits slightly above the maximum mark, nothing serious will happen. That idea, repeated for years, has caused more silent wear than most people imagine. The lubrication system is designed to operate within a specific volume and pressure range, and any deviation alters how the oil performs its function. When the level is below the recommended mark, the risk is obvious but often underestimated. The oil pump needs a constant and stable supply. If the level drops too low, especially during cornering, hard braking, or strong acceleration, it can draw small amounts of air. That mixture of air and oil creates cavitation, meaning the lubricating film loses consistency for fractions of a second. Those fractions are not felt, and they don't produce immediate noise, but they allow microscopic contact between metal surfaces that should be completely separated by a protective oil layer. However, excess oil is not harmless either. When the level exceeds the specified limit, the crankshaft can begin striking the oil in the pan as it spins at high speed, generating foam. Foamed oil contains air bubbles that drastically reduce its ability to maintain a stable film under pressure. In other words, even though the engine may be full of oil, real lubrication can be compromised because that foam does not support load the same way as properly deaerated liquid oil. Additionally, overfilling can increase internal system pressure, affecting seals and gaskets that were not designed to operate under those conditions. Over time, this can lead to leaks, oil consumption, or even contamination of the intake system if the lubricant is forced into areas where it should not be. Most people drain the oil, let it fall into the pan, discard it, and continue the procedure as if the liquid that just came out had nothing to say. In reality, that oil is the most honest and direct report about what is happening inside the engine. Ignoring it is like getting a medical exam and never reading the results. Used oil contains critical information about wear, contamination, and internal operation. Its color, smell, texture, and even the way it flows can reveal whether the engine is working under normal conditions or if something is quietly beginning to drift out of spec. Excessively diluted oil may indicate the presence of fuel, something common in vehicles that make very short trips or have injection issues. That dilution reduces real lubrication capacity and accelerates wear, even if the oil is still within the interval. If the oil has a strong smell of gasoline or diesel, it is not just a curiosity. It is a sign that the mixture is affecting the crankcase. If it shows a milky or persistently foamy texture, it could indicate coolant contamination, which in early stages may not produce visible symptoms, but, if detected in time, can prevent major damage such as head gasket failure or internal corrosion. There is also the presence of metallic particles. Although they are often not visible to the naked eye, passing a small magnet through the drained oil can reveal fine shavings that indicate internal wear. A slight microscopic residue may be normal over time, but a progressive increase is a clear warning that something is not functioning properly. Engines do not begin to fail overnight. They give slow warnings, and the oil is one of the first places where those signs appear. Viscosity also matters. If the oil drains out excessively thin despite being within the recommended interval, it may be losing thermal stability or suffering premature degradation due to severe use. If it comes out too thick and very dark, it may be saturated with contaminants and operating beyond its detergent capacity. It's very common that when the oil level drops slightly between changes, people simply top it off with whatever oil they have on hand, as long as the viscosity matches what the manual specifies. The logic seems solid. If both say 5W30, there shouldn't be a problem. However, behind that apparent compatibility lies a much more complex chemical reality that almost no one considers. Every oil is not just a lubricating base with a viscosity number, but a specific formula with an additive package designed to meet certain standards for protection, cleanliness, thermal stability, and wear resistance. These additives include detergents, dispersants, friction modifiers, corrosion inhibitors, and viscosity index improvers, all working in balance. When you mix two different brands, or even two different product lines from the same brand, that balance can be altered. Although in most cases there is no immediate catastrophic reaction, the way the oil keeps contaminants in suspension or protects under high pressure can change. Some additive packages may partially neutralize others, reducing their overall effectiveness. It's like combining two medications that serve similar purposes, but whose interaction was never designed to optimize results. Additionally, not all oils have the same shear stability, the ability to maintain viscosity under extreme pressure. If you add a lower resistance oil to a higher quality one, the final mixture may behave closer to the weaker product than the stronger one. In simple terms, you may be diluting the protective capacity of the original oil without even realizing it. It may seem like the intake system and the lubrication system have nothing to do with each other, but in reality, they are deeply connected. A dirty or low-quality air filter can turn your freshly changed oil into contaminated oil in just a few kilometers. The air entering the engine is not naturally clean. It contains dust, microscopic silica particles, environmental contaminants, and debris that, if not properly filtered, end up inside the combustion chamber. Some of these particles are expelled through the exhaust, but others manage to reach the cylinder walls, mix with the oil film, and descend into the crankcase. Silica, which is essentially very fine dust, acts as a microscopic abrasive. You don't need visible grains for wear to occur. Tiny particles circulating with the oil are enough to slowly erode rings, cylinders, and bearings. This wear doesn't cause immediate failure, but it does increase internal friction and gradually reduces compression over the years. When you change the oil but keep a saturated, deformed, or low-efficiency air filter, you are allowing more contaminants to enter the engine precisely when the oil is at its cleanest. It's like cleaning a system completely and then reintroducing dirt through the main intake. There's a common belief that if you buy the most expensive oil, the one that promises smart molecules, space-age technology, or extreme protection under any condition, you're automatically guaranteeing an eternal life for your engine. That narrative is powerful. It sells peace of mind and simplifies maintenance to a single decision, paying more for the premium bottle. The problem is that no oil, however advanced, can compensate for bad habits, poorly timed intervals, constant contamination, or procedural mistakes. Furthermore, many external additives that claim to restore compression, eliminate wear, or rebuild metal mainly act as temporary friction modifiers or thickeners that alter viscosity. They may create an initial feeling of improvement, but they do not reverse actual physical wear. Metal that has already lost tolerance cannot be regenerated with miracle chemistry. In some cases, these products can even disrupt the balance of the oil's original additive package, reducing its long-term stability.